Hi, we're on episode 6 of our
Start it again.
No, that's fine. Episode 6 of our podcast. Today we're going to be talking about marketing myths, specifically around SEO and websites. We're going to be tackling some questions that people might not know the answers to, or we're not going to disagree on purpose on this.
Common perceptions. Misconceptions.
Myth-conceptions. Faceless, can I get the first question, please?
First myth. If you run ads, you don't need SEO.
Do you want to take this one?
No.
No, you take this one.
If you run ads, you don't need SEO.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what you want to get from them, really. The difference between the two platforms, SEO is we're talking about, it depends what you mean by SEO, which part of SEO, either the on-site technical or more content side. But broadly speaking, SEO is a longer burn than ads. If you have short-term demand, they can be covered by ads, whereas building authority and getting ranked for organic topics can sometimes take time. So I think I couldn't disagree really anymore, but I think they probably serve very different purposes and very different markets, and they can handle different topics. I think having both of them means that you can plan strategically for things that might be coming up annually, and you can reach people who don't click on the ads. Whereas having ads in place means that you can reach things that maybe have a much shorter lead time. It can also divert people away from the OTAs. I don't think you should have one without the other.
Yeah, you can have one without the other, but you shouldn't. You're absolutely right. And I think there's a lot of data and evidence that supports that as well. I think the idea of having SEO and PPC together is the classic. It's greater than the sum of its parts.
Yep.
And it's more than just being greater than the sum of its parts. One, you've got people that will just arbitrarily click whatever at the top.
Yeah.
And then you've got others who will only ever click on SEO. So if you just have SEO, then you miss the people who just click the ones at the top because they're going to go straight to the OTAs. If you have just PPC and don't invest in your SEO, you're going to struggle out with longer tail keywords, attracting new audiences for a much cheaper cost than if you were trying to buy those non-branded keywords through PPC. And then there's the fact that there's been various leaks of both Yandex and Google where they've perceived ex-employees or people associated with the actual algorithm have leaked how the algorithm actually works. And within there, certainly within the Yandex one, there was an indicating factor that said if you had ads, it made your SEO better. Now, everything that Google puts out says, no, that's the case. They're mutually exclusive. Hang on a second. One, when have we ever believed Google? Because we know that they've been caught out lying in court. And two, ads is where they get the majority of their money from. SEO is free, so to speak, and they make no money out of that. What do you think they're going to do when it comes to it? Are they going to promote you for just using the free stuff? No, they want you to get you on ads. So I don't believe them for one second. This is only my view. Obviously, as I'm legally obliged to say, it's only my view, but there's enough supporting evidence there to suggest that they definitely take it into consideration.
Agreed. Oh, gosh. Nice one.
Myth number 2. No one reads hotel blogs.
Oh, yes, I agree and vehemently disagree. I agree that nobody reads blogs because the majority of the blogs that seem to be put out there are pointless. There's no thought put behind them. They're generic. There's no targeting. There's just no real benefit for that blog. It's not serving a purpose. When you've got a structured and strategic SEO strategy in place where you're targeting audience with a topic that will interest that audience with the relevant keywords, obviously, that they're going to be searching for, then that blog is useful. Then yes, that blog will be read. And I think that's the disconnect. Everybody thinks that they see SEO and they say, oh, SEO doesn't work. Well, it's like saying, I tried one thing, it didn't work. Therefore, it is rubbish. It may not be the case. It absolutely isn't. It's different quality. Like you've got different quality level of hoteliers. You've got different quality levels of hotels. Oh, I stayed in that 2-star hotel. It was terrible. Therefore, I'm only ever going to stay in Airbnb.
All hotels are terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I don't think you're wrong. at all there. And I think what people might mean when they think blogs at work is if you have 500 different blogs about the hottest taco spots in South Miami. I mean, I'd prefer I'd read that. If I'm honest.
Yeah,
but
I've got an opinion on it. I know that.
it's the content, the audience, the keywords, and making sure that it's legitimate, genuine content, not just pumped out by air.
Yeah, and I think there's some issues as well where it comes to almost giving up and throwing in the towel because the OTAs are going to be doing far too much. They've got too big a pockets. They're going to dominate. Yes, they are for those major keywords like hotel in Miami. But if you're actually strategic, you know about the benefits of your particular property, or more importantly, your agency understands the benefits of those of that property. Then it's going out and finding the niche areas that are going to, where you can write an article or write a blog post that really benefits your property. Yeah, leave the bigger keywords further on down or further up the consideration phase to the OTAs. People, that's the one thing that the OTAs can give more than your individual hotel website can. It's choice. So whilst they're at phase, but we know that people will then go to your hotel website to check out because they're too salesy. The OTA websites are too salesy. So when they're coming to your website, you've got to make sure there's interest there. And those that are looking for a niche experience in that particular area, that's where your long-tail SEO blog posts are going to work.
So you're saying people do read blog posts and they do work?
100% when done correctly.
Okay, that's the soundbite. They do work.
Myth number 3. Website pop-ups always annoy guests.
Yes. That's like saying mosquitoes always annoy people. Website pop-up.
They're misunderstood.
They're not misunderstood at all, as
they are. They're misunderstood.
Hungry bees.
Tiny, tiny bees.
Tiny, tiny death flies. No, I think pop-ups, whether or not they're well-intentioned, or slide-ons, or any kind of overlay that appears at any point. The only ones I would probably... So there's a couple of types. There's a type that when you load a page, it pops up and slides on to draw your attention to something you might not have seen. The only time that I think they are applicable or usable, because personally I feel they really interfere with the design of a site, is if it's a cluttered site and there's lots going on. And if there's a cluttered site and lots going on, then a pop-up probably isn't going to save you. You might need to look at that. So there's those kind, and then there's exit intent pop-ups, which I absolutely despise. How dare you try and trap me on this page? In fact, I'm going to rage click. I don't think there's very often a time when someone goes, oh, thank goodness.
Saved by that pop-up.
Saved by that pop-up. If only I have saved 2% off bar because of this pop-up. No, I think they're very, very overused. There was a time in the early noughties when you couldn't go, like you would spend time closing down pop-ups. If they didn't annoy people, we wouldn't have pop-up blockers.
That's true. I also think, or more of a question, do you not think that the pop-ups are on there because the original design of the website is not doing the job that it wants to? Because obviously a lot of these pop-ups and the companies are putting forward on the fact that they're going to increase your conversion rate. They're going to get you more revenue through your website. Well, if that's the case, your website's not doing its job because your website is meant to convert people, not a pop-up.
Yeah.
So for me, it comes down to design. There's got to be an element of, yes, aesthetic, brochure, brand voice and tone, the appeal, the overall, feeling I'm going to get when I come to your property needs to be conveyed through your website. Yeah. But it's there to also do an e-commerce job. Yep. It absolutely needs to have those messages on there that will allow you to, show the discounts that you're saying, the 2% off bar or whatever it's going to be that pops up. And you can introduce that into your website. It doesn't have to be a pop-up. Pop-up's got a negative connotation. It is a sales tool. It's a sales tactic. You can introduce that dynamically into your website. The reason why they're still there is they do also work, allegedly.
Well,
I think there's
a separate podcast.
There's some attribution going on in there as well. But yeah, they clearly they must be shifting the needle from what the website conversion rate was to what the website conversion rate is after the pop-up's in there. But then that for me is more of a, why pay a long-term fee for a service? Go and fix your website. Yeah. Get a better website.
Just get it right first time. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, that was it. We put some myths to bed. SEO, blogs, and popping off about things that are popping up. So appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.